Welcome to the Loveland All Sports Podcast, where the land of love can get updates on not only Loveland sports, but learn and discuss many sports topics. Shoot any ideas you want to lovelandallsports@gmail.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook at the Loveland All Sports Pod. Loveland's All Sports Pod is sponsored by Meredith, DeWitt of Brittany Fritz Realty, Loveland's #1 boutique brokerage. Contact Meredith for any and all of your real estate needs at meredithbfteam@gmail.com. This episode, we spend time talking with a longtime cheer coach and Loveland resident, Emily Masters. You'll learn about her time as a cheerleader at Xavier and what she's teaching the girls that goes beyond the spirit at games, but life lessons that they can learn to take them long after high school. All right, good morning, Loveland. Well, we're here for another episode of the Loveland All Sports Podcast on a beautiful October Thursday morning, sitting here at mile 42. Fall is coming. It's a little chilly, but it's still going to be 80-something degrees today. But we're here today getting to know our Loveland High School cheerleader coach, Emily Masters. Good morning, Emily.
Hello, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for sitting down with me.
Absolutely.
I got to say, I've been watching you for all these years between my two boys playing football, and you are everywhere. And last Friday, I'm walking down the hill after a big homecoming win by the Tigers, and there you are pulling the biggest garden cart. And you're taking it down the hill, and it's zooming down there, and my daughter's fiance runs over to help you, and you just took that thing down there like a champ.
I know, I had kind of started moving, and I was like, okay, this is a risk. I gotta just keep going.
Right, the momentum
so
was taking you.
So I don't trip down the hill.
That thing was packed with signs and gear and swag and everything, so you are everywhere. So thanks for sitting down.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's get a little bit to chance to know you, know the girls, know your assistants, and all the good stuff. So Loveland is home now, which is awesome, but
yes,
where'd you grow up?
I am from Sandusky, Ohio, so up north, about an hour from Cleveland, an hour from Toledo, right on Lake Erie. I went to a small Catholic school up there and then ended up in Cincinnati when I went to Xavier.
Okay, I assume you cheerled there?
I did. I cheered at Xavier for 4 years, and it was actually, I'm going to say, one of the best 4 years that Xavier basketball has had in a while. So we made the NCAA tournament. Every year I was there, cool. 2 Sweet 16s, 1 Elite 8, so some really cool experiences cheering there.
Awesome.
Yeah,
but you didn't get to cheer for football because they haven't had a football team since 72.
that is the one, right, that is the one drawback, but also it was a good balance of, being able to keep up with classes and,
it's true.
Still being involved, but it worked out well. So.
Where's the coolest NCAA tournament that you got to go to?
Oh, it was probably Phoenix, Arizona. It was 2008, and I can't think of who we beat in the Sweet 16, but we actually played UCLA in the Elite 8. We got completely smoked, but what I didn't realize at the time, I didn't realize until later, was the team we played actually had Russell Westbrook and Kevin Love on it. So really? Technically I was courtside watching them play at one point. Yeah.
That's
so
really cool.
really neat. It was a blowout. It was a big loss, but it was still cool to be there.
Well, that's all. What's cool. I ask a lot of the coaches, what's the best athlete you've ever coached against? And I didn't think about asking you that, but you just answered it.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's probably the best answer of all the questions I've asked, where it's like, they talk about some high school kid at Little Miami that played at Wittenberg, or a lacrosse kid that was phenomenal and went on to play at UC. You just dropped Kevin Love and Russell Westbrook, so that's funny.
Yeah.
And what do you do in the real world?
So by trade, I'm an occupational therapist. I worked over in an elementary school in Fairfield for about 8 or 9 years, but a new opportunity presented itself at Indian Hill. So this is my second year over there, and I am the 504 coordinator. So I handle all of the 504 plans for K-12 over there, which is also nice because it's a little bit closer to Loveland too.
I was going to say,
it's not as far of a drive. Don't have to hop on 275.
Since you moved here, you're able to get there pretty quick.
Yeah.
And hit the back roads and whatnot. Good to hear. So, what about your family? You got some teammates with you?
Yeah. So I am married to Nick. We've been married. We just hit 5 years in August.
Congrats.
Thank you. And then we have one little girl. Her name's Madeline, and she will be 3 in December. So she is a handful. It seems actually anytime I leave the house now, she asks, "You going to see cheerleaders?" And I'm like, yes, I am going to see the cheerleaders. I'll be back.
Do the girls love her? I mean,
yes, they do.
Oh my God.
I try to bring her around when I can, or I'll bring her to the high school, and then Nick will pick her up in the middle of practice, and she seems to love it, but my mom asked her the other day when she was in town if she was going to be a cheerleader, and she told her no, so who knows?
Right. It's been my life,
yes,
but I'm going to go do something. I'm going to play soccer, whatever.
Right.
Oh, that's great. Well, glad to hear you're in Loveland, and 5 years is awesome. You hit the tipping point, right?
Yes.
I showed, my wife and I have been together 26, and I saw a meme that said, why is a marriage license the only license you don't have to renew every 5 years?
That's too funny. I've not heard that one.
Every license you have to renew, except for that one. And then you insert your joke about, well, maybe we should renew it.
Yeah.
I don't want to renew it for
that
this 5
funny.
years, something like that. Awesome. So naturally, being a cheerleader throughout growing up and at the highest level in Division I basketball, that's awesome. But what about coaching? How long have you been coaching?
I actually randomly found a position open at Loveland. I can't even remember how, online somewhere, and it was to cover maternity leave. So I coached the JV, I think it was even just basketball season in like 2015. And it was great, loved it. They didn't need me the following year, but then the person I covered a maternity leave for that next season, which I think would have been, 17, 18 maybe, decided that she was having another one and wasn't going to coach. So they called me back up and said, hey, do you want to coach JV football, basketball? And I said, absolutely. Again, at that time, I was single, no kids, so I had all the time in the world. Very next year, ended up being the varsity coach because the varsity coach stepped back. So I think this is my 8th season.
Awesome.
Coaching varsity, yeah.
Awesome. And then when you're coaching varsity, describe that. You're basketball and football?
So originally, actually, I was basketball, football, and competitive.
Okay.
Kind of as our competitive team grew, program grew, as programs in the area grew and have just become more competitive, we were able to hire a competitive coach. That's Katie Smaney. She's been probably 4 or 5 years at this point. So that was nice because that took a big chunk of time off my plate. Of course, I'm still very involved at every competition practice, at all the competitions down in Florida when we go to nationals. But it's nice to kind of have someone do all the logistical and planning work of competitive, because I do, I kind of plan all the camps and our camp and the logistics of gym time and things like that. So it is nice to have those assistants. And then, of course, T. McCoy and Rachel Barnes. T's been with me, I think, 7, if not all 8 years that I've been at Loveland, so we have a good relationship. And again, she's been around a while and super helpful, knows how things run. And Rachel's been there about, I think this is her 3rd season. So again, we've established some consistency, which is great, I think, for the program and for the girls.
Oh, yeah, it definitely sounds like it, and it's notable on the field and whatnot, because there's, I'm a grumpy old man now about youth night. Because between my 2 boys, I've been at youth night, like 10 times.
Yes.
And now I'm there as a dad of my youngest that's playing football. How many girls were on that track for youth night?
Ooh, well, funny enough, I was not at youth night this year.
God.
My sister got married.
No, you planned that, so you didn't have to go.
And it was not. I was super happy to be up in Sandusky with my sister celebrating her wedding.
It's cute as all everything.
It is a lot.
But my goodness, our stadium's not built for that.
Yep.
They're all on the track. You're a dad and a football guy trying to watch the game, and there's K through 12th grade.
Yes, it is definitely a lot.
And their voices are so high pitched, and it's just not.
And they love to they don't yell, they scream and screech.
Yes.
Which we love their spirit, we love their enthusiasm, but yes. We had, I don't know if they were all present that night, but we did have about 225 youth cheerleaders at our youth summer camp, which is, I think, a new record. We've been in the 200s before, but I think over 220 is a new record. It is K-12, and on one hand, it's awesome that we have all these girls interested in cheer, but yes, when it is cheer and there's that many girls spiriting and yelling, it can be a little overwhelming. But,
well, it's great. It's great. It's great for the sport. It's great to have that many people interested. It's also great that it's only the first half.
Yes. Yeah. We even a couple years ago we switched it. So K 1, 2, and 3 actually just do the first quarter
Okay.
because they also get kind of bored
Plus
and
they gotta
squirrely.
go home and go to bed.
Yep,
Right.
exactly. It's getting dark out probably by that time. And then 4, 5, and 6 do the whole first half, which I think has worked out better. They kind of get to spread out and enjoy it a little bit more as well for the
Okay.
older ones. So I think that's worked out well.
Good. And then all right, so back to our program. So does a girl make both, or do they separate between football and basketball?
Yeah, so we have one tryout in the spring for sideline, and then we'll have a separate competitive tryout. And when they try out in the spring, they can say their preference if they'd like to do football, basketball, just football. We have a lot of girls involved in show choir or dance and other things. So most of the time it works out that the girls that want to do basketball are able to. Basketball, we're a little bit more limited just on how many girls we can take just because of space and league and OHSAA rules. So, but again, it's worked out with different things that girls are involved in.
Good. And then that includes now the competition team too.
Yeah,
so talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have a separate tryout for competition. There are 2 competitive teams that compete throughout the season. So we have our performance team, though that team and that routine is a little bit more of your high-level tumbling skills, higher-level stunting skills, which is something that we're really getting into this year. We did stunt last year for the first time, or compete in the stunting divisions for the first time last year, but we were, still kind of learning the basics, figuring things out. But this year, we've really been able to do some fun stuff with that team and that routine. And then the other routine is game day. And that is your more traditional sideline cheer type routine. It involves a band dance, your defense or offense chant, a cheer, and then your school's fight song.
Okay.
So all of the routines that you're competing against look very similar, but it's about spirit, it's about energy, it's about how well, you use your flags and your signs and your megaphones. So there's always a lot going on in that one, but that one is a little lower stakes, but actually might even require even more athleticism because you are just going constantly.
Yes, the endurance.
So so we're a little bit more selective when it comes to our competitive teams, also because they're a little smaller. So I think we have 36 in the sideline program for football this year.
Wow.
Plus our mascot, of course. Have to
Right.
shout out Gina, our mascot. And then for comp, there's about 19 total between the 2 teams.
Okay.
So.
Well, and then Olivia Powers, right?
Yes,
I know her parents pretty well, and they are very proud alumni that their daughter's the Blob.
Yes,
so
of
you being a
course, I
Xavier
love that.
grad.
Yep, when she told me she was thinking about being one of the mascots at Xavier, the Blob, I was like, you absolutely have to. That would be so amazing. So
That's
I'm
cool.
sure she's enjoyed that. I think she's a senior now
Probably,
already down there.
yeah.
So.
Probably.
Yeah,
And then,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I've noticed, like Friday, I just remember I'm staring off into space, probably, into it like a football dad, right? And all of a sudden I'm staring at your cheerleaders and I see kind of something being set up. And I see, I don't know what it's called, a pike or whatever. All of a sudden this girl's 25 feet up in the air and I went, whoa! And I said to my wife and my kids I was sitting with, I was like, we don't usually see that. That was amazing. Did you guys see that? And they're like, no, what? And I'm like, watch the cheerleaders. They're doing some stunts out there that are not your typical game day cheers.
Yes, and that's awesome. I love to hear you say that because, again, last year it was a lot of basics, nothing like too crazy, not a lot of transitions, not going very high,
Yeah, right.
things like that. But they have really just put in the work and have learned some new skills, so we're able to do some more fun and entertaining pyramids. I think what you're referring to is probably the basket toss when Peyton just goes flying into the air.
Yes, I mean,
controlled, of course,
right.
but
with 3 or 4 or 5 spotters.
yeah, and so it has been really fun to see. The girls are coming up with new things. We're working together and putting some new pieces together for the sideline, and so it is great to hear that the fans are noticing.
Yeah, I definitely caught my eye.
Because it's something different they're not used to seeing, and hopefully it keeps things new and exciting down there.
So are there high school competitive teams that are getting to the point where they're adding male cheerleaders to have that physical base and the ability to, like in college?
Yeah.
Are there
I
some
think a
doing
little
that?
bit. I know Turpin has one male. We've been at camp with them before. We had a male for 1 year on sideline, but he was in show choir, so we couldn't get him to do competitive.
Yeah, right.
I would not be surprised if teams in our league start to incorporate that more. I know there's actually I think he's a Loveland senior, might be a boys volleyball player. He has been actually coming to our practices and kind of learning the basics of tumbling, stunting, because he's going to try, he has the athleticism, so he's going to try to cheer at UC.
Yeah, well, it's Brock Knatz's
Yeah, and I was
right
gonna bring up him too.
Right.
Yeah, football player, basketball, but he went to a cheerleading clinic down at UC, and they wanted him. They went after him, and he fit the bill. So
it's got to be fun. I mean,
I'm just awesome. That energy and that atmosphere has got to be great.
Well, we're sorry to say, but we're UC fans, not Xavier.
Yeah, that's
but
all right.
Between Brock and Avery Case, we're always looking for him on the sidelines.
Absolutely.
It's neat to see. So
awesome.
Thanks for sharing that. So, all right. What other events? I know the girls sometimes cheer for other games.
Yeah, so just last year, actually, this was an idea that Mr. Bruce had, is we started doing more girls basketball games. So it was kind of nice. Instead of having to ride the bus over to Western Brown for the boys, we got to sub that out for a home game, but it was for the girls. So,
right.
It was fun to cheer for the girls, bring some energy and excitement, or some additional energy and excitement to their games.
Save a 45-minute trip.
Yeah, and save, a 45-minute bus ride.
Right.
So that's great. I think, at first the girls are like, I feel kind of silly, or, it's different, but I also think it's good. I feel like I just always try in our program to really preach, that girls supporting girls, women supporting women, like let's lift each other up. And I think doing some more girls games goes right along with that. And so I think we'll continue to do that, and that'll be something that is more of a tradition, if you will, and
the coaches
feels
probably
more
love
common.
Yeah, the coaches love it because my daughter played girls basketball, and it's difficult when I love girls basketball. It's more real basketball, if you ask me.
Yes.
It's a great sport with a lot of set plays and moving and whatnot. But they just don't get the fans.
They don't get the same attention, right?
If we can, do that and get more people in the fans, especially on a big Saturday afternoon or whatever it is, that's awesome. And then what about, I was very proud to have my truck in the homecoming parade for the Limitless Adaptive Middle School program.
Yes.
So they used my truck to drive the kids around. Are you
That's
integrated
awesome.
at all with them? Or?
So the director of that program, I think she's an intervention specialist down at the middle school or the intermediate, reached out to me about having some of our girls volunteer and help out.
Cool.
Which I was so disappointed that their practices are right after school, and middle school gets out so early that most of the girls that wanted to help out, still had a 7th bell, or still, were still in school at that time. But I would love to do more with them. Again, my occupational therapy background, I feel like that is right up my alley.
Right.
So hopefully in the future we can do a little bit more together. As that program also continues to grow, because I feel like that was fairly new, so I think but it's making some ground. I was in that same lot staging with their truck and their group, and so I got to walk by and say hi to some of them, and it was really cool to see them included in the parade.
Yeah, Angie Perkins and Haley, Angie, a friend of mine, she texted me and she said, "We're so excited they gave us a spot in the parade, but we don't have any trucks. Will you drive us?" And I said, "I'll just give you my truck."
Yeah, absolutely.
Just take my truck, have fun with it, decorate it. I'll pick it up at the high school when it's over. And if that's the only thing holding you back is not having a truck, take my truck.
You could see like their decorations. It was probably part of a class project. They had done some of their own things. So even just seeing like their decorations, and again, the excitement around just being there and being in the parade was really, really cool to see.
Yeah, Loveland does such a good job of integration of all people, all ages, all everything. Even if a grumpy dad needs to complain about why there's 225 youth cheerleaders on the track.
Hey, that's
at the end of the night, it's a good thing. So, all right. So, what is your favorite part of coaching?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I love cheerleading so much, and I think it goes back to, for me, it's more about cheerleading. It really is about, developing the skills as a cheerleader, but also helping them develop just into good people, good leaders, positive young women. There's so much in the mental health world, so just teaching them strategies, trying to keep them positive, build each other up, and just really trying to instill in them, that sense of confidence, that sense of I can be a leader, whether it's a boisterous leader or a leader by example, and just really emphasizing that and kind of building them up and forming them into confident and, positive young women as they leave Loveland. And I hope, when they're 10 years from now, they're reflecting back on that. I think that's my hope, is that they realize it then, because I don't know that they realize it now as high school students, but I really think that's what it's about, is just empowering, young women at a very, I don't want to say sensitive age, I don't know if that's the right word, but kind of vulnerable place, right?
Exactly. Right.
So being a positive influence for them, I really take a lot of pride in.
Well, the same percentages they're athletes, they're better athletes than most of the football players, but the student athlete, let's say that, the same percentages of them are going to go on to cheer at the Division I level as are any other sport out there. So if you're playing the sport to win state titles, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And then we can all think back to like our very first English class, say in college, where the one kid stands up there to give their impromptu speech and they can barely talk. If you went through a cheer program and were under you get up there to do your speech, and I used to do this in front of hundreds or thousands of people. I can stand up in front of 20 and give a speech. And then those types of things just go on throughout life, and it teaches them good lessons.
Yeah, that's sparking a text message actually that Jason Bruce sent me just the other day. Our girls were invited to compete in a Warm 98 Football Friday contest.
That's right. I saw it on Facebook.
It went really well. And
what time do you have to get up, though?
So I actually had a work meeting at 8, so I could not go. But Mr. Bruce was down there with them, and he had texted me like, oh yeah, they're all here, and he's sending me a couple pictures. And about an hour after, when I figured it was kind of wrapping up, he sent me a message that just said, you have done awesome with these girls. They were absolutely amazing. Like, I am so proud of them. And honestly, again, that had nothing to do with cheer, nothing to do with the competition result. And that meant like everything to me. But again, it goes back to, apparently they put them on the air and were asking them questions, and a bunch of them were stepping up to the mic and, talking about what else they were involved in or what cheer means to them. And he explained that all to me later. And so then again, I felt like that text that he sent meant even more. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's what it's about. So
that's why you're doing it. And it's, in radio, we never get to see things because it's radio, but they had the video up on social media, and I watched it in preparing for this interview. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So when you're, with all your experience, are you able to be what do you like better, football or basketball?
Oh, that's tough.
No, the sport, not the kids.
The sport. Yeah. Oh, gosh, that's tough because I did always appreciate cheering in the indoors for basketball.
Yeah, true. It's 72 and sunny every day.
Right. But I do love just that high school football, Friday Night Lights vibe, the marching band, the fans, the cheerleaders.
So are you a fan? Do you watch sports outside of cheer?
Yes. So I am a big Ohio State Buckeye fan. Okay. Unfortunately, I am from Northern Ohio, so, I am a Cleveland Browns fan, but, we have the Buckeyes, so that's great. But then obviously I love college basketball too. I joke, my friends know, March Madness is more fun and exciting to me than Christmas. Like, I get more excited for March Madness than that. So yeah, that's a tough toss-up. But
so when you're watching those games, when you're watching the sporting event on TV or live, do you find yourself looking at the cheerleaders to see what routines they're doing?
Oh, absolutely. Because I also think, we have a couple girls that want to cheer in college, so to try to model our program off of a more collegiate level.
Especially now that we're getting into competition and more stunting.
And just raising the expectations. I'm definitely noticing what they're doing. You know, you watch one video on Instagram and you get flooded with 25 more. So I'm always seeing different routines or pyramids or, you know, dances, stunts on there. So yeah, I constantly feel like I'm saving things and like, hey, girls, do you want to try this? And again, they've been really receptive and open to a lot of new ideas this year, which has been great.
Yeah, awesome. So all this talk, how many hours a week do you put into this little hobby?
Oh gosh. Well, that's a good question. We only practice once a week for sideline. That's about 1 to 2 hours, and then twice a week for competitive, which probably adds up to about five or six competitive wise. But you know, I feel like today I'm gonna make a poster for them. We're doing this game at the like a roll the dice game on Friday, so I'm gonna make a poster for them. We have we're hosting our first cheer competition later this month, so I have some like logistic planning things to do, and you know, touch base with the athletic department. So that's a tough question, but also I love it, and
so it doesn't matter.
It's easy to put the time in to keep things exciting and fun and events running well. So
that's good. Well, thanks for all you do. So all right, well, now we're going to take a little break. We're going to enter what's called Josh's smoking seat. I'm going to fire off some random questions and just want your gut reaction. So
all right.
Shoot. Excuse me. All right, so now we're going to take a little break. We're going to enter what's called Josh's smoking seat. We're going to talk a little bit about 10 random questions. I'm just going to fire them off and get your gut reaction. So,
all right.
Skyline or Gold Star?
Skyline.
I didn't know how you'd answer that, being not from
there.
So.
I love Skyline.
All right, being a basketball girl, LeBron or Jordan?
Oh, probably LeBron. Go Cavs.
So, I'm going to change this up because of, are you still on the Browns bus after all these years of no playoff wins?
I am. We actually rented the Browns bus at my bachelorette party, so I have been
Did you really?
physically on it as well.
Nice. That's great. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, no.
Nope. What's your first concert?
Oh, gosh, I think it was like Brooks and Dunn country concert. Super random in high school.
Madonna or Taylor?
Oh, Taylor.
Okay.
All the way.
My daughter will love that one. If money is no object, what sporting event would you like to attend and have your team cheer at?
Oh, Final Four.
I figured
Absolutely.
something like that would be your answer.
One of these days, maybe I'll be coaching Xavier cheer and I'll end up on the sideline when Xavier finally makes their first Final Four.
Right. Do you eat cereal?
Yes.
Okay. So when you eat cereal, you put the milk in the bowl first or the cereal first?
Cereal.
You got to try the milk first. It makes it better.
Gotta try it.
Yeah, the cereal floats on top, and then you decide when it gets crunchy. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Last one, when you eat corn on the cob, are you a typewriter or a rotator?
Oh, typewriter.
Are you? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Northern Ohio sweet corn. Just got out of that season, and my parents brought some down the other weekend. It was wonderful.
Good. That's
yes.
great. Awesome. Well, thanks for a little time on that. So, talking about most memorable games or one you'd like to go to, do you have a memorable game that you cheered at where you saw someone that ended up being famous or something like that?
Yeah, so my most memorable game cheering myself was, I think, also in 2008, and I think this was the game where we won to play UCLA that I talked about previously, but we were playing West Virginia. Bob Huggins was actually the coach.
Yep.
It was back and forth. I think it went to overtime. Okay. I'm pretty sure. And BJ Raymond, number 11, Xavier, love him. Shout out to BJ Raymond. I can still see it. I'm like sitting there and they passed the ball from the far end of half court all the way to where he was standing behind the arc to hit a three. And he hit it and it went in, and it was so exciting. And he had done that twice in a row, I think. And so the second one was just like, everyone went crazy. My sister sent me the most ridiculous freeze frame from the TV. Like, she took a picture of the TV. It's my face next to BJ. We're both just eyes wide, mouth open, yelling.
Awesome.
But then the best part of that is that clip is actually a part of the 2008 One Shining Moment video.
Oh, really?
Yes, that March Madness puts together at
Every
the
year?
end of the tournament.
Right.
Yes, and so that is my claim to fame. That has to be my personal, like, at me cheering, best memory, best moment.
I'll look for it on end of March, early April.
Yes.
That's cool.
It was awesome.
That's really cool. What about any embarrassing moments for you cheering? You're out there, you're in front of thousands of people. Any moments you want to talk about?
I'm sure I had more than one. Holding a sign upside down, or not putting up the X when the X was supposed to go up. But there was one time I was center court, right in front of the home side, or where the players are, and I threw a tumbling pass. I actually over-rotated, so I missed my feet. And so I ended up landing on my butt, but I did a backwards somersault and just kind of stood up. And I was kind of stunned too, because it was all just kind of like a swift movement put together. And I kind of remember everyone in the stands was just kind of like, and then I just spirited and acted like nothing was wrong, and they started cheering. So
right.
That's one that sticks out in my mind, because I was probably like stunned as well at first, and then was just like, okay, here we go, go Muskies.
Right. Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, and that's what you're teaching our girls, is that you may literally stumble and fall, but it's how you get back up and handle yourself. You don't run into the corner and cry, or you don't hide. You just go out there and own it.
Yes.
And then put your hands in the air, and everybody goes nuts.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That's awesome. All right, talk a little bit about Loveland. You've got a great program going and whatnot, but is there anything that you're thankful for that Loveland's provided you, or anything that you wish Loveland had that would help?
I am just so grateful. I mean, even from Julie Renner, who was the athletic director when I started, to Brian Knatzer, to Rich Bryant, and then Jason Bruce, all of them have just always been so supportive of cheer. And so supportive of what we do, and then also grateful for what we do as well, and recognizing that, especially competitive is more than just shaking pom-poms on the sidelines. So I am just so grateful, because I have heard stories, talking to other coaches at camps or competitions, where they don't have that support, and you can see it in their program.
Right, absolutely.
They don't have the props they need or the space they need to practice, and it is reflective of what we're able to do. So just so incredibly grateful, all of the support from the athletic department, and then of course the community as well. I feel like we're very well received by the community. We get requests to volunteer at different events, or make appearances at Tiger Ball, and when there used to be the golf outing and things like that. So just really being like a community presence, I think, is also super important.
Sorry to interrupt, but
no.
Me being a football dad for two boys, I think this summer, when Coach Mullins had the boys go down to your competition, I asked my son, and he's like, the other schools had barely any football players come up. It was probably boyfriends of a girl or something like that. But we, I guess, had, at least the boys are trying to represent and drive down there to support you guys, so that's good to see too. Absolutely.
That's kind of become an ECC competition tradition between football and basketball, and it really is just the energy they bring. It makes a difference in our performance, and it's amazing. And you're right, it's so cool to see, because the other schools don't have that.
Yeah.
And just to feel that support from them, and of course the coaches as well, not just the boys, but the coaches. And I had Rob Reese say to me before, oh my gosh, I had no idea what these routines were like. And we're like, we put a lot of work in. And so, just for, them to recognize that too is just a great feeling.
Well, and I'm sure too, when the judges are sitting there deciding what they want to give, and they hear 50 boys going crazy in the stands, they might make this score a little higher than what they originally thought.
Yes.
So that's good. And then, evident of a huge program, talk about your summer camp. That's an absolute rodeo, but... Yes,
so our summer camp has grown, little cheer camp. It's grown. I think 2 years ago we decided to split it. So now we have 2 sessions. The first one's K to 3, and then the next one's 4 to 8, just because, you know, one session with all of those girls was just was just too much. We weren't getting anything done. So now it's nice because the high schoolers, they pretty much run it. I facilitate it, but they're the ones, you know, doing the actual coaching, which is another great leadership opportunity for them. But, you know, they can spend a little bit more time with each team, you know, build some relationships. And it is cool because I've seen, you know, girls come back the next year and they're trying to find, you know, the girl that was running their group the year before. They're super excited to wave to him across the fence on Friday night. So it really is, it really is cool to see all of the interest there is in cheer, especially at the youth level. I mean, those teams are maxed out early.
Yes.
You know, there's wait lists. So obviously I know there's practical implications, but love for everyone to be able to do it. But I understand, you know, got to have some safety measures in place. So, but it is awesome the amount of excitement and participation really around cheer at that level.
I remember back when I coached LYF, people were like, God, there's more cheerleaders than our football players. And it's like, well, would you rather them be sitting at home playing an Xbox or sitting on their iPad? No, they're out here doing something, and they're doing something 3-4 days a week and something on Saturday. So it's good. Let's have them participate. So. Talk a little bit about, did you have like 25 team goals or?
Yes. So I think just in general, we really wanted to continue to kind of push our stunting skills, especially for the competitive team, of course. We ended up finishing 4th in the ECC last year, which we would have liked to be a little higher. I, of course, personally think we should have been a little bit higher. So obviously we're hoping for that. And then at our big OHSAA actually now hosts the Spirit Championships, and we've gotten 3rd the last 2 years, which is great. I think usually there's 10 or 12 teams in our division. But really would love to have that top spot, but even like getting runner-up this year would just be a huge feat. So that's a really big goal, that OHSAA championship. That's in December. So yeah.
Well, good. Well, good luck with that for sure. Anything you were talking to me before about, you know, creating a vision statement, creating a philosophy, a culture. Talk a little bit about that.
So again, when maybe my second year, I was with the program, and when I had taken over varsity, either Julie Renner or Brian Knatzer, you know, just recommended, hey, might sound kind of silly, but why don't you create like a vision or a mission statement for cheer and for your program, and it can really help guide you. And I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I can do that. That sounds good. That's kind of up my alley. I like positive quotes and inspirational things. So I was like, I can do that. And the mission statement or the vision statement I came up with really just goes back to like good cheerleaders, better people. And looking back now, having been coaching for 8 years, I really think putting that down on paper, talking about it at our parent meetings every year, every season, I really think that has become part of our culture. And again, just developing the leadership skills, the communication skills, the responsibility, showing up on time, making sure you have all your uniform pieces, your bow, your white socks, all of that. I really take a lot of pride in that, and I think because it actually was written down, the purpose of a vision statement, right? I think it really has guided, I mean, not just myself, but, you know, Katie, Rachel, T, on just, yes, we're here for cheer, and we're here to get better at our jumps and our motions and our tumbling and our stunting, but we're also here to kind of build those soft skills too. So
makes sense. That's a great summary. Anything else you want to add to the talk here for the community, or you've thanked everybody? You've talked about the athletic directors and your team, your assistant coaches, and the competitive cheer head coach. Anything else?
Yeah, I'll just say I kind of missed this in our goals, but you know, our goal for competitive is also to get back to nationals down in Florida.
Oh yeah.
We competed one routine stunting last year. We only took the one routine, so this year we're really hoping to qualify both routines. Last year, our performance routine just wasn't ready when it needed to be to qualify. So we just focused on the one, ended up competing both routines at ECC, and it went great. The girls did amazing. But yeah, this year, hoping to get both of those teams down to Florida and compete and really advance from prelims to semifinals and potentially even finals. So
that's awesome. Well, good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Emily, for everything you do for Loveland, and most importantly for everything you do for the girls or the student athletes. Let me rephrase that. And best of luck finishing out the football season and then competing in the upcoming Spirit for the OSHA.
Yes, thank you so much. This was great. I loved it.
This episode was sponsored by Cappy's Wine and Spirits in downtown Loveland. Tap room, bottle shop, meeting place, great music, gift ideas, and just a traditional watering hole. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Coach Master. Our girls truly provide a great atmosphere at the games and all of the events throughout football, basketball, and competitive cheer seasons. Peace.